Well, hi everyone, and welcome to the Buffett and Beyond Research Stock of the Week, and we're going over advanced micro devices, which is in our growth portfolio, and the question is, will it stay in that growth portfolio? And this is December 14th, 2024. Yes, folks, the year is just about over, and that stock symbol for advanced micro devices is AMD. And remember, folks, if you want to live on this beach like Jimmy Buffett used to live on, then you've got to learn how to invest even better than Warren Buffett does now. So, folks, let's get right into the numbers. And first, we're going to see what Advanced Micro Devices does, and it is a leading maker of integrated circuits. Yeah, it's in the semiconductor industry, and it produces microprocessors for desktop PCs, portable computers, servers, including Althon, Turion, and Opterion designs compatible with Windows apps. Also manufactures graphics processors through ATA acquisitions in 2006 and circuits for communications and equipment. And it recently bought a new company which is absorbing into itself as we go along, which is maybe why the market has not liked this stock so much this year. And revenue is expected to be up 27% for 2025 over 2024. So, folks, that's an amazing amount. And it has 26,000 employees. So let's see what AMD does. And the clean surplus return on equity over 5 years for the average stock in blue, so the blue represents the average stock in our portfolio, the clean surplus ROE is almost triple that of the average stock. When we get into net income growth, 39% versus the average stock of 13%. More than triple, or exactly triple, the average stock out there. And the revenue growth for the average stock, about 7.1%. Over for the 5-year average, and our stock AMD up 22.4%. So these are some fantastic numbers, folks. And let's look a little closer at these numbers, and we can see that for 2024, this company was making $332, and folks, it was about the same as 2022. So in other words, 2022 or up to 2022, we saw rising income, then a fall off for 2023 last year, and now back up to $3.32 per share for this year, and then a whopping $5.11. Now, these numbers have been brought down a little bit. That's why I wanted to show you this. They have been brought down a little bit, but boy, oh boy, look at that clean surplus return on equity. Now, remember, the average stock has a clean surplus return on equity of about 13%. And remember that the clean surplus return on equity is totally different than the traditional accounting return on equity. And we can see that we expect a big rise going into 2025, or for the year 2025. Retention rate, 100%. That means it's taking all the money it's making, putting it back into itself in order to grow. Now, net income for 2025 expected to be up 54%, revenue growth up 27%. So the average over 5 years, which is in yellow here, you can see way above the average stock. Net income growth for the average stock about 13.4% or so, and this stock is up 39% net income growth over the past 5 years. And what's good is that the expected returns or the expected growth rates for 2025 is above the average of the 5-year growth rate. You don't see that too often. And years to pay debt, this is one of Buffett's favorite debt indicators. And he says if a company takes all the money it's making and uses it to pay off debt, how many years will it take? His rule of thumb is 5 years or less. Our rule of thumb is 3 years or less, and this company can pay off its debt in a couple of months if it has to. And so, folks, we don't worry about rising interest rates with a company like this that has almost no debt at all. And again, as I mentioned, it's in the semiconductor industry, which has had a tough time this year compared to the past 5 years. So over the past 12 months. Now, the black line is the S&P 500 doing very, very nice this year, up a tad over 30%, which is phenomenal. And AMD has done just about nothing. In other words, it started the year over here, and it's ending the year down about 4 to 5%. So you can see it has had a tough year, especially for those folks who bought it up here. We didn't. We've had this stock for a couple of years, so we're making money on it. The problem is that this stock just has not added to our portfolio performance for this year, which is up about 35% right now. So you can see this company has been a drag on our 30 stock growth portfolio. And when we look at the past 5 years, okay, that's a little bit better here. Now we're up 200% with the market up about 85 to 90%. Again, black line is the S&P 500. So it's more than doubling, slightly more than doubling the S&P 500 over the past 5 years. That's what we like to see. That's the kind of stock we want in our portfolio. The question is, are we going to keep it in our portfolio for 2025? Again, when we look at what it's done this past year, past 12 months, it has done nothing. But when we look at these numbers, we see, how can this stock be doing nothing with the fantastic numbers like this, especially expected for next year? These numbers right in here, better than the 5-year averages. It's hard to see why this stock is not liked by the market itself. But not being liked by the market itself is one of the things that we look at, because maybe it's something we haven't seen. But these numbers are average numbers of all the analysts out there. And I'm talking about 2025 here. These are the average numbers. And over here with net income, these are the average numbers for 2024 and 2025. For income, and folks, they translate into a nice 28.4% clean surplus return on equity, and we require a stock to have a 20% or above return on equity to be in our growth portfolio. So, folks, that's our question. Will we keep AMD in our portfolio? And you'll know in about 2 weeks, folks, when we put out the new portfolios for 2025. You want to be part of that, so stay tuned. So if you want to live on the beach like Jimmy Buffett used to live and sail on sailboats like this, like Jimmy Buffett used to do, then, folks, you want to learn how to invest even better than Warren Buffett does now. So, folks, you take it easy. You have a great weekend. You have a great holiday season. We'll see you back here in a couple of days.